Hello and welcome back to the No Dig Norfolk Gardener. I've had quite a nice weekend this weekend because we had a nice time at my brother's and my sister-in-law's. They invited us over for Saturday. We've returned back to the garden now and we're hurtling towards the end of May. Things are starting to come toward harvest. But at this time of the year you often find yourself multitasking, and there are one or two tasks that I need to do around the garden which we'll film as we go along, and then towards the end we shall come back here and we shall see what we do have to harvest. So first of all, one of the jobs I need to do is just check the brassicas. I've just taken the covers off so that I can have a look at them, and what you'll often find is that there are leaves that are not doing the plant any good anymore, and of course that is a source of food for Mr. Slug. So as I look around here I can see this is definitely not doing anything for the plant anymore. But it's going yellow. You can see it's already got some holes in it, so probably Mr. Slug has been munching on it. That is its job in the garden. It's a bit of a recycler. And I can see that some of these bigger leaves, they're not looking quite so good, so again we can have those off. And obviously while you're in here, when you see the odd weed, there's another good thing about going around your plants, you know, you can then spot the weeds. There's another one here that's... and it doesn't hurt the plant at all. There's still plenty of greenery on here that will power this to its final harvest, which, looking at it, is not going to be too long. And of course, all this material that we do take off from the plant and go straight onto the compost heap. We've tidied the brassicas up, and all of those leaves and things, they've all gone to the compost heap so that they can start composting and they'll become part of the garden next year. So yeah, nothing goes to waste, and obviously we've covered them back up so that we don't get any white butterflies or the pigeons eating them. Now another job that I want to do is to thin the parsnips. If you remember, when we sowed our parsnips, we sowed 3 seeds per station, and you can probably see along the line it's been a bit variable, the germination, but they are starting to come through. And those that have, I now need to thin. So from this station, we've got 2 plants that have germinated. And looking at these 2, I would say this one here is the stronger. It's larger and it's looking stronger. So, this is how I thin them. I just simply cut the top off. Another job that I just wanted to do quickly was to have a look at the carrots and see how they're getting on. Where they've needed thinning, I've thinned them, and here they are. I prefer to thin at this stage. Some people do it when they're much younger. There is no right or wrong way, but what I do find is that I do get some carrots I can have on my plate, and oh, they smell so carroty, and when you taste them they're so sweet because they're very young. And so yeah, we'll just have a taster on the plate. I would think we're about 2 to 3 weeks away from being able to harvest these at the sort of size you want them. We don't let the summer ones grow on as big as the ones that we want for over winter. We enjoy them when they're much smaller. Now, interestingly enough, the last time we were here filming, there were some bare patches where we hadn't had germination. If we just put the camera just down there, you can see that all of a sudden they've decided to germinate. So we've got some more coming there, and clearly we've had more germination along the rows too because they're really quite full now. And carrots are one of those things, you know, everybody should try and grow. You can't buy a carrot that smells this good and tastes this good. only when you pick them fresh from your plot and onto your plate will they ever taste this good. That much I promise you. Here under the tunnel, we're already starting to take some harvests of the spring onions. You can see that we've put a curry squash in here and also a courgette. And one of the jobs we've done today is to just put a bit of string lightly around it, just to encourage them to go toward the arch. And then hopefully they should start to cling on and start to grow up around the arch. Now in this side here of the arch, we're going to be growing our runner beans. And one of the decisions that we did take was to actually put another hoop on this end and then grow the climbing beans up and around here. So that's something that we shall be doing next week, adding this other bit of arch. The plants are nearly ready. You saw us sow them, it was the last video or the one before, I can't quite remember now, but they're already germinated, and yeah, by next week they're going to be ready to go into the grounds. And then into the polytunnel where all the propagation is taking place now. The seeds that you saw us sow the other week, they've all germinated, so the Ruminesco, the Ormskirk Savoy cabbage, autumn giant cauliflower and cauliflower triumphant. Now, if you remember, this came from the video succession sowings, and the Ormskirk Savoy cabbage, that's usually ready sometime late November and through December. Autumn giant cauliflower, that's normally ready to harvest around about October time and into November. And triumphant cauliflower, that will come to harvest during December and into January, so hopefully we'll have those for Christmas. The Lollo Rossa lettuce that we sowed, they all germinated really quickly, and you can see we've potted those on. That's a job that we've done today. And the sprouts, you also saw us sow those. You can see they're of a good size, and again another job we've done is to pot those on today. There are the beans that we sowed that we were talking about a little earlier. You can see they're going to be ready to go in the ground any time now. They'll look after themselves. And of course the other thing that we've done is that we have staked the tomato plants. And the cucumber. And then the other job that we needed to do today was to put the final 3 pieces of string onto the peas. And you can see they are really getting to the top now, and as they reach these tops we shall pinch the growing point out, which will then encourage the pea to then bush a little more. You don't want to be doing things like that until you see masses of flowers on there. That's why it's not done yet. I know that one is there, but I want to see a few more flowers come first. So yeah, that's another job that we've done today. And you can see that I've already harvested some new potatoes. They're of a nice size. They can probably do with another week or so in the ground, but I am rather impatient. Mrs. W will tell you that. However, I can hear you sniggering behind the camera. Broad beans most definitely are ready to be picked. Now, this variety that I'm in front of now is a variety called Aquadulce, and we decided to grow this year, a couple of rows, along with the Sutton. One of the things that I have noticed is that the Aquadulce have come ready first, they're earlier. We have now got beans on the Sutton. If you haven't grown that before, you can see what they look like. And they're a perfectly nice bean. We've grown that for many years, principally because we can get quite windy around here. We do live midway between the city of Norwich and the coastal town of Great Yarmouth. So we always went for the low-lying variety. Now the wind doesn't seem to have affected these Aquadulce too much. We have staked them and put string around them to hold them up. But for our meal this afternoon, what we do want is to enjoy some nice broad beans. So let's have a look and see where we are with them. So I've just harvested one. Ah, yes, Now this is the sort of size that myself and Mrs. W like our broad beans to be. But like with all things, when you grow your own, you can harvest them exactly when you want as to how you like. And that's what we've been busy doing today in the New Dig garden here in Norfolk. The great thing is that, you know, as we now approach June, and June will be next week, there will be plenty of harvest to come from all the hard work that you've done earlier in the year. And you can see here by, oh, you're coming up, come on then. There you go. There you go. Struggling a bit there, weren't you, girl? Yes, yes. So you can see we've had some potatoes, some lovely new potatoes. Where we thinned the carrots, they shan't be wasted, they'll be on my plate this evening. We've also harvested the spring onions that we planted last autumn, which we're using at the moment to flavour our gravies and to make trivets with. And then, last but not least, we're going to enjoy some tasty broad beans on our plate this evening. So really looking forward to that. Now do let us know what's going on your plot. Are you finding things starting to come to harvest now? And is there anything you've managed to get out of the garden yet that you've got that you can eat on your plate? We always do like to hear your comments. But until the next video,